Well, the latest cluster of COVID-19 cases in New South Wales centres around a place called Avalon. It's a beautiful place in Sydney's northern beaches, and it comes as such a shock to so many people, to most of Australia actually. The entire nation had gone almost 2 weeks without recording a single locally acquired case. And although we were told that the virus was still in our cities and the emergence of small clusters was inevitable, I think many of us were actually hopeful that we'd nailed this virus and that elimination had become a real possibility. And that's why this has come as such a shock, that and the fact that it's centred around the pristine northern beaches of Sydney. Nothing majorly bad occurs along those beaches, except maybe a small swell or a blue bottle invasion. It's a place where families dominate the population, residents never leave, where even Sydneysiders move to for getaways, and where life just trundles along much slower than south of the Spit. But yesterday, all that went haywire, with long lines of people, many of them families, waiting up to 4 hours to get tested for COVID-19. It was the same today, except in 33-degree heat, almost 100% humidity, and with storms threatening. The total infection tally is sitting at 28. It was only 48 hours ago, and we're now told it's likely to have spread to another 4 suburbs, including 3 in the south of the city, and we've got an infection on the Central Coast. Well, the reaction to the partial lockdown of that peninsula, though, and the prospect of cancelled Christmas celebrations has been, for many, quite hard to take.
It's a shame, really. It's come to the beaches. It's going to upset a lot of Christmas joy for a lot of people, I think.
I think we've had about 2 irresponsible people, and they've inconvenienced about 10,000 others.
There's a little bit of confusion as to who is obliged to isolate and for what length of time.
Yeah, it is worrying, of course. Yeah, I'm here on holidays, and so we've got to think, well, do we stay here or what do we do?
But can I say this? This is when we need to have faith and trust in the skill and professionalism of New South Wales contact tracers. Even when the Crossroads cluster reached close to 70 infections, authorities worked fast and continuously, day and night, to isolate thousands of direct and indirect contacts, which cleared that cluster in no time. Now, while the village of Avalon and the other suburbs will resemble ghost towns for a couple of weeks and the usual Christmas celebrations and trading will come to a halt, we can cope with this. Christmas can be celebrated maybe at a later date. January will look far better for those along the beaches. And if we're smart and we don't panic, this will quickly become a nasty memory. This was part of the Prime Minister's message today.
These things remind us that we are still in the midst of a global pandemic. The virus has not gone away. It is still there, and as a result, all the measures that we continuously take are necessary to continue to protect Australia. We've dealt with this before, we'll deal with it again. It's important that people just remain calm about these issues and follow the instructions that they're receiving from their local health authorities.
Now, the mob who proudly call the Northern Beaches home, they're laid-back Aussies. It's a close-knit community who are not prone to drama or panic. They'll handle this better than most. And while the timing is a pain in the pudding, it's just part of this wretched year, full of disappointments and full of shocks. And importantly, unlike where we were at the start of the year, we're all a lot wiser about how to handle these blips. It can still be a Merry Christmas in that part of Australia. It just might have to be celebrated without the usual trimmings.